Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. This is United Daily Live, back in its new slot of 10:30 p.m. UK time. Sometimes it might be 11 o'clock, but it's going to be 10:30 p.m. most of the time because this is the prime time. I feel I'm getting used to this slot. My body clock is getting adjusted to this slot, and we are ready to go today and talk loads of things Manchester United, and of course, it's the Daily Sancho. We've got daily Jadon Sancho transfer news. I have no doubt there's going to be daily Jadon Sancho transfer news until he signs for Manchester United or doesn't, which, if that's the case, is going to go on forever and ever and ever. A little bit like Nicholas Gaitan, Gareth Bale, Wesley Sneijder and all of those guys as well. But thank you for joining us. To everyone that's in the comments, Ross, Tariq, Sean Maxfield and Sean Ralph. We've got Paul B. We got Chris Reamer. We got loads of you guys in the comments. Thank you very much to everyone that has joined us, whether you're watching us live or you're watching us back after we have been live. We appreciate you as much. Anyway, just checking if that is on over there. It is now on, so that shouldn't be a problem at all. You're probably thinking, what is Adam talking about? But trust me, it's little technical things that I have to make sure is going right. Otherwise, this stream's just going to go all wrong altogether. But we're here anyway to talk about Jadon Sancho, talk about Jack Grealish, talk about Jesse Lingard, talk about Ollie possibly resting players heading into the Europa League, and of course talk about anything else that you guys want to talk about in relation to Manchester United and in relation to the latest news that's going on. Are there any stories that I've missed? We will discuss those too. But as always on AdamMcKola TV, what we're going to do right about now is we're going to do it on this day. On this day, it's 28th of July, and we're going to find the 28th of July in this book, which is Manchester United on this day by Mike Donovan. We have some strange on this days, we have some great on this days. We have it all in this book, and today's on this day is Friday, the 28th of July, 2006. So we're taking you back 14 years. 14 years. How old was I? 14? I was 17 years old around this time when this happened. Dutch striker Ruud van Nistelrooy is sold to Real Madrid for £10.3 million and nets Manchester United an extra £1 million 11 months later. Sir Alex Ferguson had insisted on two bonuses worth £500,000 each put into the contract. The first would be paid out if Real Madrid won the Spanish league title, and the other activated should Van Nistelrooy end up top scorer in La Liga. Both came to pass as Van Nistelrooy netted 25 in a championship season. So on this day, 14 years ago, Ruud van Nistelrooy left Manchester United. That's put a right downer on my evening, that's for sure. I love Ruud van Nistelrooy. I remember when that happened. I was really gutted. Remember him walking off the field, the League Cup final, and Louis Saha had started. He hadn't got the start, and he was gutted and all that kind of stuff, and he was walking off with his head down, took his medal off. You knew it was the end for Ruud van Nistelrooy at that point. And later on that year, he left Manchester United and he went to did I say the League Cup final was the last day of the season? It's obviously not. It's in February or March or whenever it is. And he left Manchester United later that year. What a sad time to be alive. What a sad time to be alive. Ruud van Nistelrooy, what a man. 150 goals for United in 215 appearances. Anyway, let's get stuck into the latest news. Not the historical news, not the news that happened 14 years ago today. Let's get stuck into the news that is circulating today. And we've got news in regards to Jadon Sancho. Of course we've got news in regards to Jadon Sancho. And we're hearing today from Sky Sports that Manchester United are working very hard to find a solution for Jadon Sancho and the transfer of Jadon Sancho. I was watching it on Sky Sports News earlier, and they were all discussing it in relation to it possibly happening. And they've stated Manchester United have begun discussions with Borussia Dortmund over Jadon Sancho. Talks are centred on the transfer fee and the structure of payments. There's been no bid yet, but United are the only team to make official contact with Borussia Dortmund. And that is according to Sky Sports. So Manchester United are in talks with Borussia Dortmund, according to the latest reports. on Jadon Sancho, and those talks have begun. They also suggest United are the only club in talks and that no official bid has been made just yet. So as you can see, they've left that door open for this to be dragged on just a little bit longer. Yeah, it's still that little gap there for it to be dragged on. Now we've got to wait for the bid, the rumour of the bid, the official bid. Oh no, there hasn't been a bid. Oh yeah, there has been a bid. That bid's been rejected. United go back in with another bid. We've still got all this fun and games to come, and it's going to come gradually as the next days and the weeks and the months pass. Now we hear Borussia Dortmund want to get this deal done by August the 10th. But Man United are saying, yo, hold up. No one's calling the shots for us. We don't want to hear you lot say August the 10th. We'll sign him when we want to sign him. We're going to negotiate. We're going to look for the best price. But the fact that we're hearing that Dortmund are in talks with Manchester United shows that there's a willingness for them to sell. There's a willingness for them to sell, their prized asset this summer. He's going to bring in the biggest fee out of anybody that they're going to possibly sell. Obviously, you got Erling Haaland there, who's going to leave soon. I think that's obvious. But he's going to leave in the future. And there's a release clause there. So with Jadon Sancho, they're going to try and get as much money as possible out of this deal. But Manchester United can point to the fact Timo Werner's price this summer, Kai Havertz's price is going to be around 75 million, I believe. If you're looking at all these kind of rumours in relation to other players leaving the Bundesliga and going to England, then the price is already set for them. It's like with Jack Grealish, we're going to talk about the latest there. But Aston Villa asking for £80 million potentially for Jack Grealish. United are able to say, well, hold up a minute. We paid 46.5 plus add-ons for Bruno Fernandes. How can you lot say, this is us? We're looking to be doing a deal at 80 million. You just can't be doing it. So it's going to go on for a while. It's going to drag on for a while. I think Jadon Sancho has made it clear he wants to leave Borussia Dortmund. Dortmund know that. Dortmund want to sell Jadon Sancho. I think that's clear. They're going to be saying in the press, actually, we don't want to sell him. We're happy to keep him. But the time is now for them to cash in on him. And that price is dropping. He's not going to sign a new deal anytime soon. We don't know what's going to happen with football, when fans are going to return, how many fans are going to return, what the next TV deals are going to be. We don't know what the landscape of football is going to be like in the next transfer window or the next one after that. Now, they could go back to normal. They could go back up in price, all these players, once clubs start getting all their money. But there's no guarantee on that. And Dortmund don't want to risk keeping a hold of an unhappy player. We've seen it with Leicester City last summer with Harry Maguire. We've seen it with Crystal Palace last summer with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. So we know that clubs are going to obviously try and hold out for the best deal. But United are in a position where we can aim to get the best deal for the club. Because we also know, look, we've got 150 million. That's the rumour of the amount that we've got to spend. It may be a little bit less than that. Let's say we've got 100 to 150 million pounds. We'll look at the players that are definitely going to leave. And that is Chris Smalling, 15 to 20 million. Alexis Sanchez, probably going to get 15 million for him. Marcus Rojo, Phil Jones, you're going to get between them two 15 to 20 million. If they go 7.5, 8 million each to 10 million each. So you're looking there recouping possibly, how much have I said? 15 to 20, 15 and 20, 35. You're going to look about 50 million on them three. Maybe a little bit less. Let's say on the low side 40 million. So that's a possible 40 million you can add to the coffers of what you've already got. And now you're looking, who else are you going to sell? Juan Mat has been linked with a move away for around 5 to 8 million pounds. Let's say 10 million if we're lucky. Andreas Pereira has been linked. Diogo Dalot, Jesse Lingard. These are players that have been linked with moves. Now, I don't think all of those are going to go. I don't think all of those are going to go at all. That's not what I think. But there's going to be at least 5, 6 of them that do leave. 3 of them I think are definitely going to leave. The ones that are currently out on loan. And then a possible 3 or 4 others leave. And United could recoup maybe 50 to 70 million pounds. To add to that, now you've got a budget of around 200 million pounds to work with. If you can get Jadon Sancho for half of that, or maybe less, United are going to be hoping, then maybe you've got that room. If you can get Jack Grealish for 50 million, get a centre half for 50 million, you've got your transfer business done. Do you know what I mean? So United are going to have to start wheeling and dealing as well and selling some players to bring in the money. I think Jadon Sancho is the one that's going to happen first. But like we've heard with this Jack Grealish story, which we'll move on to next, it will probably be the Jadon one that happens. Then other bits of business has to happen for United. And you see we've set deadlines on Smalling, Sanchez. We've said, well, they can come back to us. They're not going to play for Inter Milan and Roma in the Europa League. So now we're making Inter Milan and Roma think we need to get these deals done. So United are kind of playing ball to try and get that money in before the end of this month, before August really kicks off, so that they can recoup some funds to add to those coffers and maybe go for someone in addition, like Jack Grealish. Yes, guys, someone's asking about Full-Time Devils and Stretford Paddock and all that. Full-Time Devils is now Stretford Paddock. The ownership has changed over to myself and Steve and Jay and Joe. We're all in the mix together now. We're running the ship and it's running nicely at the moment. But whilst I'm doing that, I'm also doing this. This is the place where it's just pretty much me giving my opinion on things. Obviously over on Stretford Paddock, I'll be there doing the usual bits and bobs that I'm doing. Steve will be doing his usual bits and bobs. Jay and Joe will be getting in the mix. We got the likes of Ronaldo, Casey, everybody else getting involved. We're looking to get some of the old heads back in the mix. So, Andy Tate's all over the place as usual. So we've got the usual lot over there. But defo, not bad at all. So go check it out. Make sure you're subscribing. And subscribe here. Also, can I thank, I just had a new member, Prashant Baduri, for becoming a new member of AdamMcKola TV. Remember, you can join the channel by clicking that join button. As well as Prashant, we also had Kyle with a C, Kyle Martinson, Luis Sagado, and Galvatron joining as well. So thank you very much to all those guys that have become recent members of AdamMcKola TV. We're just over 90 away from hitting that target of 200 by the end of August. Can you help me hit that target? Keep hitting that join button. Anyway, let's get stuck in. Kyle says, you mentioned 150 million budget is part of that, the 40 million loan we took out a month ago. Possibly. I do remember the bit of information that you're on about. It's possible. 10-week transfer market. Get the business done early, says David. Prashant's jumping in with all the say it again emojis. Congrats on 70. Oh yeah, we hit 77k. We need to hit 100k ASAP. Get on that. Jesse Lingard might be staying, says Michael Scary. And we can move on to the Jesse Lingard story. Actually, we'll save the Jack Grealish one. And there have been a number of European clubs linked with a move. And thanks to United Report for finding this one. And they have got here. It was in the Times. And they've put out clubs across Europe, including AS Roma, Shakara, Borussia Mönchengladbach, and Newcastle United are interested in Jesse Lingard. He will wait until after the Europa League to make a decision on his future. Jesse Lingard is hoping, the Times continue, that a run of performances in the Europa League next month will help him secure a move away from Manchester United. So that is what we heard in relation to Jesse Lingard's future in the Times today. Thanks to United Report for compiling that. But then Paddock also posted earlier on today, I posted on Paddock the quote from Jesse Lingard's Instagram, which said, had a Michael Jackson quote, I'm starting with the man in the mirror, I'm asking him to change his ways. Can't say that without trying to sing it. But then he went on to say, this season has been difficult for so many reasons. I lost who I was as a player and a person, but I never wanted to give up. I knew who I really was on and off the pitch and knew that having been there before, I could get there again. This meant working harder than I've ever done before and trusting in those around me that they knew how to best help me achieve that. I know the fans have been frustrated, but in all this time, my love for this club and everyone connected to it has never left me. This team, this club, is my family, and I will continue to keep working harder than ever to help this team achieve its goals. So that come from Jesse Lingard. And what that sounded to me like was Jesse Lingard was saying, I'm staying and fighting for my spot at this club. Now, I've said a number of times already that personally, I feel, if we're going to be selling players, you look at the likes of Mata, Pereira, Jesse Lingard that could be sold in those positions. You're not going to sell all of them. You're going to keep at least one of them. Because even if you bring in Sancho and Jack Grealish, for example, the summer goes amazing. We bring in Jack Grealish and Sancho. You're still going to need another one in there as backup. Because Tahith Chong's probably going to go out on loan. Here's another player that's been linked with a move away from United on loan. He's been linked in that deal with Jadon Sancho as well as possibly going there on loan. But you hear about these things. And I think out of those players, tactically, technically, Jesse Lingard offers us more. Juan Mata hasn't got many years left in him. He can go and demand first team football elsewhere. We know that. So can Jesse. Probably so can Pereira. Not at the level of United, obviously. But they can do that. But if Pereira leaves and Mata leaves, I see no reason why we don't keep Jesse Lingard. I think Jesse Lingard even offers us more than, say, someone like Daniel James, personally. Obviously, he hasn't been in form in the last 12 to 18 months. Probably since the World Cup. But I think if we sell 2 of the 3, I don't see us selling all 3 of them. The one I would like to keep would be Jesse Lingard. I think we'd get more out of him. So that's my opinion on that. But conflicting reports today, because you get that from the Times, which could be true, and then Jesse Lingard saying that. So Jesse Lingard could actually be saying, I want to stay at United, but pushing the point. So we're hearing Solskjaer is going to play a weakened side and rest stars in Europa League. So that's a chance for Jesse Lingard. Does he put himself in the shop window? Does he put himself in with an opportunity of staying and fighting for a chance at United? Or does Ollie leave it up to him and say, look, if we get offers that we accept, that alright, cool, you can possibly leave if you want, but it's up to you. I think that's probably what the position will be in for Jesse. Because I don't think Jesse's someone that Ollie will force out of the club. But look, Jesse's had a difficult time recently with his family and everything. He's had a difficult time off the pitch. He's had a difficult time on the pitch. We know that. He might think the best thing for him is a fresh start. And if he was to do that, I'd say, yo, fair enough. Carry on, Jess. Good luck to you. I'd probably go and watch a game of his as well. Because I'm a big fan of his. I like him as a person. I think he's a good lad. But he hasn't played well enough for United. So if he is in the shop window, if Ollie does let him go, then it's up to Jesse to say, actually, I'm going to go and be a first teamer elsewhere, have a fresh start, or actually I'm going to stay and I'm going to fight for my spot. And I feel that message from Jesse today suggests the latter. Manny says Andreas Pereira could kill it at a club like Leeds. Sergio Romero, someone that's been linked with Leeds as well. Prashant Baduri with the super chat. It says, where's the super chats at? Thank you very much, Prashant. If you want to get your super chats in, feel free to get those in. I'll try and read out as many comments as I can, but I will, of course, read your super chats out too. James says, I don't know if I'm that asked about Sancho. Sure, I'd take him, but 90 million for 120 mil for one player, or 3 to 4, maybe 5. I don't think we get 3 to 4, even 5 good players for 120 mil these days. Personally, I have faith in front three and Igalo, says James. I have faith in the front three. I agree with you there. And I have faith in Igalo being a good backup. But we need a right winger, bruv. Let's be real, innit? We need a right winger. We're crying out for a right winger. So I want to see us go get one. Yeah, no worries, man. No, just don't start arguing about these. Aaron says, ain't it past your bedtime? I think it's past my bedtime. Mad how he scored last game and last minute. I know. I love Jess. Fair play, Jess. Go on, lad. JC, you are the legend. You lot are the legends. Thank you for tuning in and thank you for getting involved. The low and 70 to 80 million is surely the way to get this deal over the line, says Dugout Dan. Are they in the market for a fullback? Possibly. Derek, thank you for getting involved, mate. I appreciate your support. I appreciate everyone for getting involved, no matter how you are showing your support. Prashant says we need a backup to front three, midfield and defence. And I think if you get in Jadon Sancho and your first choice front three is Sancho, Marshall and Rashford, and you got Greenwood rotating with those as well, perfect, isn't it? Thoughts on Gabriel Magalhaes? I haven't seen enough of him, Alan, to give a fair opinion on him. I obviously know he's very highly talented, but Who knows what happens with him? Obviously, there's a fair few younger talents out there in terms of those defensive positions. I fancy Tedad Mengi and Axel Tuanzebe as well, but I can see why United would want to be in the mix. And Gabriel is one of those players is coming in at the lower kind of end of the transfer market in terms of value. So it could be one of those signings that United think, actually, let's get that centre-half signing in. Let's get it done early, cheap and early, and then we've got one out of the way and we can focus on all the other business that we want to do. So that could be a possibility. Partey for CDM. I would love to get Thomas Partey in. That would be amazing. And we've just had a flurry of super chats. So Prashant, who I swear is not me, seems to have had a little effect on what's going on in the live chat. Ross says keep Igalo and then in January buy a new striker. Rian says irrespective of the price, Van der Beek or Grealish. Jack Grealish for me. But if we sign Van der Beek as an alternative, I wouldn't be against it. He's a big talent. He's a fantastic player. There's no surprise Real Madrid were looking at him. But I'm a big fan of Jackie Grealish, you know. Kyle Martinson says, we all know the big names. Who's your under-the-radar signing that you would like to see? Could we get Deo Upamecano in? Yeah? No? Anybody on that? I know it's not under the radar. Everyone gets linked to him. But I'm a fan of his. And you could bring him in. Send Axel on loan. There are no WhatsApp groups, you know, Michael. And we wanted to continue the WhatsApp group on Devils. Me and Jay were the ones that were running that. More Jay than myself. And producer Chris before Jay got involved. But WhatsApp no longer do those groups. So we can no longer do a WhatsApp group. But yeah, that's why they're not happening anymore, because WhatsApp don't allow them. Alien Tenno with another super chat says hope Igalo gets a decent run in Europa. If I was to say our 11 for Europa, I think it will be, I think we're gonna send De Gea on holiday, Maguire, Lindelof's already on holiday. We're gonna send those boys on holiday. I could possibly see Wan-Bissaka going on holiday. Matic, Defo, Pogba, Bruno, Rashford, Marshall. I think all these players are going to get sent on holiday, and then United are going to play a reserve side against Lask in the second leg, possibly a half reserve, half first team pre-season, kind of some guys getting fitness back up after their holidays in the next leg, and then start to see a gradual reintroduction if we get any further past that round of, is it the last 8 would be in the quarterfinals after that. So if we can then get to the semis, I think you start to see more. If not, United will arrange some friendlies, I imagine. But I'd send all the main men on a holiday, give them 2-3 weeks away, or however much it is, until that quarterfinal, semi-final stage starts to kick off again. That's what I'd do personally. Would you take Matty Longstaff on a free, says Dan. It's probably worse players you could get on a free, but I'd like to see us set our sights a little bit higher. But on a free transfer, you know, there's worse deals you can make happen. But hasn't he been linked with a move to Germany, was it? Or Italy? Super chat, says Paul B in the comments. Thank you very much for your super chats, man. I appreciate all of you. And Prashant, probably owe you half of them. So thank you very much for getting involved. Ross Baker with another one says, I think Axel has potential to be our best centre-back. Such a shame he's made out of Rice Krispies. I don't even know what his current injury is. But I agree with you. He is a massive talent. A massive talent, and it's a shame that he was injured for the most of this season, because I believe he would have got an opportunity. Michael says, can you see us getting Van der Beek? Wow. Let's move on to this Jack Grealish story. Now, Jack Grealish at the moment is fearing that he's going to be priced out of a move to Manchester United. And with that being said, Jack Grealish is then obviously going to have to make something happen. And to further that today, Sky Sports have reported that United have called their interest in Jack Grealish and have targeted Jadon Sancho solely. He's the man they're going after wholeheartedly. Jack Grealish has been put onto the sideline for a little bit. Now, that could be true. United could be thinking 80 million fucking pounds. Maybe because Villa are in the Premier League now, we were going to get him if he got relegated. But actually, let's move on and focus elsewhere. Donny van der Beek could come into the situation then, because he's a player that was going to go to Real Madrid for 50 million. You could probably get him for 30-40 million now. Value for money wise, that probably makes more sense of a deal for United to be making if they want to spend vast sums elsewhere on a centre-back and a right winger, for example. So you could possibly see that happening. But I think United are putting the ball in Jack Grealish's court. For Jack Grealish to say, come on Villa, I've got you into the Prem, I've helped you stay in the Prem, do me a favour and just sort a deal out with United. And if he works on him that end, United are more likely to get a deal that's happier for them. With the price of Bruno Fernandes, 46 mil plus add-ons, I don't think they can be demanding 80 million. And I think you will see, no matter who Jack Grealish goes to, listen, I'm not saying he's definitely going to join United. If you watched the rumour rater earlier, you would have seen my rumour rating. But I feel it's like a 60% chance possibility that he joins United because of this price tag thing. But I do think when he eventually does leave, and I think he will leave this summer, he'll go for around 50 to 60 million. He's not going to go for 80 million. And if he's available for 50, 60 million pounds, United need to be in the fucking market for them. Even if you're giving Andreas Pereira or someone else in the mix, you need to be in the market for him. It's as simple as that. So I'd love to see United keep pushing for Jack Grealish, but maybe backing off will force things to happen on Jack Grealish's end. So that's how I'm taking that story at this moment in time. Rishi with another super chat says, why do United struggle to move on players? Woodward can play football manager with signings, but can at least hire someone to manage loans and departures. And I think it's because of the wages that United pay some of these players or have paid players in the past that we then find it more difficult to get rid of these players. So I think it's simply down to that. If you look at Alexis Sanchez, no one's going to pay his wages, do you know what I mean? Matteo Darmian, his wages were pretty high. For Serie A clubs that are probably giving out, their highest wages are pretty high, but the average ones, where did he go in the end? Parma? They're not going to be paying the kind of wages United will be paying for an average player. Do you know what I mean? So the wages are a big problem, and that's why you see United probably get hard done by in transfer fees a lot of the time too. Van der Beek is better, some people say in the comments. Ronaldo Brown's in the house. Yes, Ronnie, how you doing, bro? Ronaldo had another Tier 1 transfer podcast on Stretford Paddock up today. The link's in the description below, so as soon as we're finished here in a couple of minutes, you can click that and head over there. Not only did we have the Tier 1 transfer podcast, which you might have already seen, we also had the 2 parts go up to the 4-parter, which is the end of season review as well. So you can go and check those out over on Devil's Paddock, which we also have loads of other stuff up as well there. So go and check all of that content out. Make sure you're subscribing to AdamMcKola TV. Make sure you're subscribing to Stretford Paddock. Join the channel if you can as well. Become a member. We have 105 members at this moment in time. We're trying to hit 200. We're at around 110. But obviously some people jump in and out, so it's understandable. But if you can, click that join button. Help us reach the target of 200 by the end of August. As we were saying as well, Ollie's going to be resting players in the Europa League, and I'm all for that one. Let's see if any new stories have popped out in the last couple of minutes while we've been on. Feel free to get any of your questions in as well. Let's have a look. Luke. No other stories really. We have seen, of course, another we've seen another leak of the United shirt come out recently as well. So that's out. It's the one we've all imagined it being, and it's been leaked for a while. Any more comments? I'm having a look. Darcy said no to Koulibaly. What are you like thinking about Koulibaly? Marian, I can't see Marian's comment. Darcy said put it in a thing button. Thoughts on Ruben Neves as a CDM option? Yo, you've probably seen the channel before. If you haven't, I'm a massive fan of Ruben Neves, and I would love for him to sign for Manchester United. Wolves just don't look like a selling team, and they don't look like a side you can take players off quite easily, so I'll be pretty disappointed with that. I'm not too sure when the Manchester United shirt is released. Let's see if there's a rumour online. Release date. There's no release date rumoured yet or anything like that as far as I can see. It was originally set for a May release date. I imagine it will be out at some point this month. They're not going to leave it until August, I imagine, unless they wait until the Europa League is done. I don't know about that. TG, not my cup of tea. Nah, not at all. What's your favourite United shirt? The 07 kit is up there for me, says Darren. Yeah, is that the 07-08 one's definitely up there for me. Obviously the 99 one. The 94 one with the colours and the laces in was great. The green and gold one's another great one as well. Rose Finnan, thank you very much for getting involved. I appreciate that. Make sure you're hitting the like button, commenting, sharing, and subscribe. If you're not subscribed to the channel, it doesn't, just click the fucking subscribe thing. Does me a favour. Cost you nothing. Happy days. New shirt is August the 10th, apparently, says Dan. Whilst Paul B says 4th of August. So we've got rumoured dates of between 4th and 10th of August. 10th of August was the deadline Dortmund were giving us for Jadon Sancho as well. So hopefully we'll have him done by then. But I'm not holding my breath on that one, because that would be in 12 days time, and it just doesn't look likely, does it? Anyway guys, this has been United Daily Live. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you. Make sure you hit that like button on your way out. But thanks for tuning in. We will be back tomorrow at 10:30 PM with United Daily Live. That is UK time, so you'll have to figure it out for yourselves if you're not from the UK. And we will have another video up as well at 5 PM tomorrow. I'm in the studio with the lads, so we'll possibly get a master debaters out for you with me, Jay and Joe, and whoever else wants to get into the mix. So let us know what you're thinking about that when that goes up as well. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications button, hit the join button if you can. But for now, I have been AdamMcKola. You lot have been legends. I am out of here.